Welcome back, everyone, to another explainer. Today, we've got a truly fascinating topic. It's honestly like a strategic roadmap for some of life's absolute toughest challenges. We're diving into specific planetary placements, specifically looking at Saturn and Mars in the sixth house, and what they actually mean for those intense, prolonged legal battles and disputes. So grab your notes because we're going to extract literally every piece of strategy we can to help you navigate this stuff.
Have you ever wondered why some legal battles just feel endless? Like, why does a seemingly simple disagreement suddenly turn into this grueling marathon with absolutely zero finish line in sight? Well, today's insights hit the nail on the head regarding that exact exhausting reality. We're going to break down the actual mechanics of these prolonged disputes, but more importantly, and this is the best part, we'll outline the ultimate blueprint for actually surviving them.
All right, let's jump right into part one, anatomy of a dispute. How conflicts spark.
So, what usually starts out as just everyday friction, maybe it's a standard disagreement at work or a minor hiccup over some contractual wording, it's completely primed to abruptly escalate into a full-blown formal legal dispute. It's this rapid, really sharp shift from just a simple misunderstanding to a serious battleground. And honestly, you need to be hyper-aware of exactly how quickly that line can be crossed.
And look, you really have to understand that the opponents you'll face in these scenarios, they are absolutely not pushovers. No way. You're going to encounter incredibly strong adversaries who are highly capable of creating prolonged resistance and extremely aggressive opposition. So you've got to set your expectations right from the jump. This is not going to be an easy win. You're strapping in for a really tough, entrenched fight. Which brings us to part two, the brutal grind of delays, lengthy legal affairs. What typically kicks off as this really energetic initial push over the first few weeks? Well, it inevitably hits a brick wall. Court cases under this specific Saturn and Mars influence face repeated, just agonizing delays spanning months. And ultimately, they transform into these lengthy, exhausting affairs that can literally drag on for years. All that forward momentum, it just completely stops. It's replaced by this heavy, dragging energy that basically forces you into a massive waiting game. Because achieving any kind of resolution here demands a massive, intense investment of three specific things: significant time, deep resources, and your own personal energy. It is an immense drain. You are basically paying for this conflict in every possible currency, including your own sanity. And honestly, acknowledging that reality up front is the key to actually managing it.
Let's shift gears now to part three, the internal battlefield, the personal toll. There is a really critical warning from the source material we need to highlight here, which is that anger and frustration can complicate legal strategies. Think about it. When you're trapped in a delayed, highly expensive dispute with super aggressive opponents, getting angry is literally the most natural human reaction in the world, right? But giving into that emotional reaction will actively sabotage your own legal outcomes. It completely clouds your judgment and your strategy right at the exact moment when you need perfect clarity the most. And if you let that frustration just fester, it becomes a literal physical risk. The intense pressure from these ongoing conflicts doesn't just stay neatly tucked away in legal briefs. It negatively affects your health and actively degrades your overall well-being. Just imagine the lived experience of carrying that kind of extreme stress for years at a time. It's brutal. If you don't purposefully manage your internal battlefield, the external one is inevitably going to compromise your physical health.
Okay, moving on to part four, master strategy for victory, endurance to win. We know the risks, we know the immense toll, so let's talk about the exact traits demanded for a successful outcome under these placements. Step one, you absolutely must learn patience. You've got to proactively accept the delays instead of constantly fighting them. Step two, use controlled action. Remember, impulsive anger ruins your strategy, strict control is what saves it. And step three, build your persistence, your discipline, and your resilience. Those three traits, that is exactly how you outlast those strong adversaries we talked about earlier. Look, we all naturally desire a lightning-fast resolution. Of course we do. But victory in these scenarios, it is never quick. Under the Saturn and Mars influence, victory comes strictly through deeply rooted endurance. It is entirely 100% about who can stand their ground, manage their resources, and keep their composure the longest. So, what you should really take away from this explainer is a totally new perspective on navigating profound challenges. When the pressure inevitably mounts and those delays stretch from months into agonizing years, you have a choice.
Are you going to let the friction break you, or will you cultivate your discipline and endure to win? The blueprint is right there in front of you. The rest is entirely up to you. Thank you so much for joining me, and keep focusing on building that incredible resilience.